Okay, so once we found the correct pair, 4 and negative 21, those multiply to give me a negative 84, but they add to give me a negative 17. I'm going to put those values on the sides of my x. Oops, that's a 21. And now I'm going to take those values and put them inside my parentheses. So I'm going to have x plus 4 and x, in this case it's a minus, so x minus 21. The next step we're going to do is step 6 up here, divide by a. So my a value was 6, so I'm going to divide my 4 by 6 and divide the 21 by 6. I need to simplify both of these. So 4 divided by 6 simplifies to x plus 2/3, and 21 over 6, both of those divide by 3, so I get negative 7 divided by 3. By 2, excuse me. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now we take, if there's a denominator, so we have a 3 and a 2, we take that denominator and kick it to the front of our factor. So my complete factor here is the 3 is in the front plus 2, so 3x plus 2. The second factor, I've moved the 2 to the front, so I have 2x minus 7. So my factors of 6x squared minus 17x minus 14 are 3x plus 2 and 2x minus 7. And we would be done with factoring at that point. Okay, so again, our steps are, we're going to create our big X. We put our b value at the top, so negative 11. On the bottom, we put a times c, so 2 times negative 6 is a negative 12. And now I'm going to look for values that multiply to give me negative 12, but add to negative 11. So we always start with 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. The bigger number is negative, so I attach a negative to my bigger numbers in each pair. 1 plus negative 12 gives me negative 11. So that's the pair I'm going to use. And I'll write them up here. So positive 1 and a negative 12. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. Let's see, make sure we can see this work. There's a little closer. And I'm going to make my two parentheses. The first one will have x plus 1. The second one will be x minus 12. The next to last step is I have to divide each of those factors by my a value. So it's 2 in this case. And I want to simplify them. So 1/2 I can't simplify. It's going to stay the same. X plus 1/2. Negative 12 divided by 2 can simplify to negative 6. And so now if there is a denominator, I'm going to take that denominator and move it to the front. So I'm going to have 2x plus 1. And the 6 is just over 1, so there's nothing to move there. So that stays as x minus 6. So my factors of 2x squared minus 11x minus 6 are 2x plus 1 and x minus 6. Okay, let's take a look at our third one here. Again, we always want to look and see if there's anything we can factor out, and there's not here. So we're going to go ahead and put our b value, so it's a positive 11 this time, in the top, and in the bottom we're going to put a times c. So 12 times a negative 15 gives me a negative 180. 180 is rather big, and I don't know the factors. So we're going to show you a quick trick here on how to find factors. On your calculator, if you go to y equals, let me clear that out, we're going to put in the value of a times c. So negative 180 divided by x. Once we've got that entered, we're going to go to our table. So second, oops, you can't see that. So second, and then graph. And we get a table of values starting at 0. And notice it says error. Everywhere we have whole numbers, these are factors now of negative 180. 1 times negative 180, 2 times negative 90, 3 times negative 60. So you can see there's a lot of factors. As we continue down, we're going to start to get some decimals. We're not interested in the ones with decimals, only the whole numbers. So in this case, I wanted them to add together to give me, what was it, a positive 11. So if I keep going down here, let's see. 12 plus a negative 15 is negative 3. So keep going down. So I'm just looking for factors that will add together to give me a positive 11. So let's see. 30 minus 6 is 24. That's not the right factor. 36 minus 5. Still, that's much too big. I think we've actually passed it. There we go. 20 minus 9 gives us a positive 11. So 20 and negative 9 are my two values that I need to put in here. Why is that not? There we go. So we said 20 and negative 9 we're putting in. So my two factors are going to be x plus 20 and x minus 9. The next step we need to do is divide each of those by our a value. So a was 12 in this case. So 20 divided by 12 and 9 divided by 12. We have to simplify these. Again, if we're not sure how to simplify or reduce a fraction, put it in your calculator and hit math, enter, enter. It will tell you what the reduced form is. In this case, I know 4 goes into both of them, so 5 over 3. And 3 goes into both 9 and 12, so x minus 3/4. We kick our denominator now to the front. So our factored form is 3x plus 5 and 4x minus 3 are my factors there. Let's take a look at our last row. So problem 4, we've got 2x squared plus 2x minus 84. I'm struck right away, they're all even numbers, so I'm going to factor a 2 out before I even begin. So I'll have a 2 out in front. X squared plus x minus 42. Oops, excuse me. Okay, now let's look. Our b value after we've taken out our greatest common factor is 1. A times c is 1 times negative 42, so negative 42. And now we're going to look for factors of negative 42. So 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times 14, 4 doesn't go in, 5 doesn't go in, 6 doesn't go in, or 6 does go in. 6 times 7 is 42. I need them to add to a positive, so the bigger number needs to be positive. So I'm going to put my negatives over on this side. And now I need ones that add to 1. So negative 6, positive 7. So my factors now, I have the 2 still hanging out in the front, and we just leave it there. X minus 6, x plus 7. And now coming back to the quadratic that I used, my a value is 1. So I need to divide by 1, which is just very straightforward. I get the same thing back. So I have 2 times x minus 6 and x plus 7. So at this point, there was nothing to kick to the front of our factors. And we're done at this point with that problem. Okay, number 5. Nothing in common to factor out in this problem. So I'm going to put a negative 2 at the top and then 1 times negative 15 at the bottom. So 15 does not have very many factors. We've got 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. I don't continue on because the next factor is 5. 5 times 3. So I've already got my factor pairs here. I need them to add together to give me a negative, so the bigger numbers get the negative. And this pair, 3 and negative 5, will add to give me negative 2. So 3 and negative 5. And I put them in my factors, x plus 3 and x minus 5. My a value was 1 again. So if I divide 3 by 1 and 5 by 1, I get the same thing. So I'm done at this point with this problem. So anytime we've got a 1 in the front, it makes our life much easier. Okay, so let's take a look at this last problem here. We put a 3 in the top, because that's our b value, and 1 times negative 40 is negative 40. My factors of negative 40 are 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, 5 times 8, and now we're going to start repeating again. They need to add to a positive, so my bigger numbers need to be positive. So I put my negative with the smaller ones. And not every problem will have a negative. We only have negatives when they multiply to a negative. In this case, the pair that adds to a positive 3 are negative 5 and positive 8. So my factors are going to be x minus 5 and x plus 8. It's a bit hard to read, so let's just write that again. We have x minus 5, that's a minus, and x plus 8 will be our two factors there. Okay.